Today we will be covering the NPA 3.2 objective and 3.3. They go together, and it is all about eating disorders and what a body image is. And we're going to talk about how they are related. Like, eating disorders a lot of times go in hand with a poor body image. So here's the vocabulary we're going to go over today. And the thing with body image is make sure you want to always accept yourself the way you are. If you don't like certain things about yourself, you know there are things you can change, but you can't change everything. So the way you see yourself, when you look in a mirror, when you look at a picture, is your body image. And if you like the way you look in the mirror, you like the way you look at pictures, that would be mean you have a positive body image. And of course, our peers, and media can influence our body image, and images that we see, of course, like in magazines or even on social media outlets, can be unrealistic because they could be photoshopped and not achievable goals that we compare ourselves to. But we do have to accept things like growth spurts. Sometimes you have growth spurts where you lose weight. Sometimes you have where you don't grow. You may gain weight. You go through hormonal changes that causes you to gain weight. So there are multiple different things that can affect your overall body image. And of course, we talked a little bit about fad diets on Friday or Thursday and Friday. People on fad diets may lose weight quickly and temporarily, but a lot of times they regain the weight after they go off this fad diet. A fad diet, of course, is a weight loss plan that tends to be popular only for a short time because it promises quick, easy weight loss, but it's not doing it in a healthy way. They also have, like I said, a fad diet may fall into weight cycling where they have a pattern of they lose weight and then they gain the weight back. Lose weight, gain the weight back. And the types of fad diets are miracle foods like magic combinations, a liquid diet where you're only like drinking shakes, you're doing meal replacement, you take a pill, you don't have to exercise, and then also like a fasting where fasting means you either don't eat for certain hours of the day or you don't eat for a certain time. So they can, of course, be unhealthy because you are jeopardizing the overall health of your body. And of course, any diet that doesn't follow the Choose My Plate or the old My Pyramid guidelines would be a fad diet because it's going to deprive you of your body of nutrients and getting what you need each day. But going into the poor body image, a lot of times someone has a poor body image, they could develop a eating disorder. And eating disorders, of course, are also classified as a mental disorder. They're often linked to depression, low self-esteem, maybe troubles in a relationship. And an eating disorder, the definition is an extreme harmful eating behavior that causes serious illness or even death. Social and cultural forces a lot of times can play a role on the way we look at our physical appearance. So it can change the way we think about ourselves, change the things that we focus on. And of course, genetics may be a factor for eating disorders as well, with how people feel about themselves, with if depression, anxiety, other things are genetic. And of course, people with anorexia see themselves as really, really overweight, even though they are dangerously thin. They see themselves as fat, even though they're like skin and bones, because anorexia is an eating disorder where someone has an irrational fear of gaining weight and they starve themselves. And of course, people with anorexia develop obsessive behaviors that are related to food, like avoiding foods and meals. Of course, eating only a few kinds of foods and a few meals. They weighing or counting every calorie they eat. They exercise excessively after they eat because they want to burn off all calories that they consumed, and they constantly weigh themselves to check what their actual body weight is. And of course, the possible health consequences lead to brittle bones, a drop in body temperature, heart rate, and blood pressure, reduction in organ size, and of course even heart problems, and even a sudden cardiac death because you have a heart attack or any other heart problems to cause cardiac arrest. Another type of eating disorder is called bulimia, and that's when the person regularly binge eats and then purges all their food. So they are going to go in cycles of overeating and then purge it, whether they throw it up or take laxatives to get rid of it that way, to rid the body of all the food that they consumed. So like I said, binging, of course, is eating huge amounts of food in a single sitting, and purging is vomiting, taking laxatives to flush out the food out of the system, or even they have fasting or exercising frantically after a binge because they don't want to eat any more calories. The possible health consequences to bulimia is dehydration, sore and inflamed throat, swollen glands, damaged teeth because of all the vomiting, damage to the kidneys and intestines and the stomach, once again because of the vomiting, and irregular heart rhythms, heart failure, and even death. And then you also have another type of eating disorder that is complete binging eating disorder. So the difference with binge eating and bulimia is binge eaters do not purge. They are going to constantly overeat compulsively, and they are not going to purge. Typically, the consequences of binge eating, it means becoming overweight and obese and developing health problems associated with obesity. So binge eating is more about gaining weight, where bulimia and anorexia is people losing weight. They see their and losing body composition. Of course, seeking help for mental disorders. Eating disorders a lot of times require medical help. They are a mental disorder, and they require counseling, nutritional guidance, a doctor's care, and of course, in the very extreme cases, is going to cause a hospital stay. So if you or someone you know may have an eating disorder, you want to always, of course, talk to a trusted adult, like a parent, counselor, or school nurse. So it covers the actual notes for today. The assignment that goes with today is the NPA 3.2, 3.3 assignment. Of course, hit the load NPA 3.2, 3.3 assignment in a new window. And as it comes up, I'm going to read the directions to you. Of course, read each scenario and complete the corresponding questions for each. Be sure to write and complete sentences when applicable. So, I'll read through number 1. Case study number 1. Shelley is concerned about her friend Megan. No matter what they talk about in the conversation always turns to food. Megan has gone from working out 3 to 4 days a week to working out 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day. Megan is always talking about how fat she is, even though she seems to have lost a lot of weight. It is hard to tell how much since she wears baggy clothes, and she says she's always cold. Shelley has noticed Megan keeps a bottle of laxatives in her locker. Yesterday, Megan fainted in chemistry. So you answer all 3 questions. What disorder is this example of? What are the symptoms? What are the pressures present and inferred on the card, which of course is not a card because it's just on a piece of paper. Number 4, what are the present medical conditions? If so, are there present medical conditions? If so, what are they? Number 5, what complications would develop if this condition is not treated? And number 6, what can be done to complete this person? You're going to go through each one of these. There are 4 of them. So you answer 6 questions about each case study. Once you finish that, submit it in Canvas, and you are finished for the day. And of course, this assignment would be due Sunday night at midnight.